Welcome back everyone! Today we are going to discuss the ultimate Android reverse engineering setup. We are going to discuss the tools that you need to debug applications, and also we are going to install some of those just to set up the working environment that we need. So if you like this kind of videos, please press the like button so I know that this is exactly the type of the content that you want. Okay, let's go ahead. When we talk about the tools that you need for the reverse engineering, we can divide those into 4 groups: static analysis tools, dynamic analysis tools, network tools, and APK signing tools. For the static analysis tools, those are the tools that you use to debug the application before running the application. So you can analyze the application, how it works, the structure of the application before running the application. APKTool is a great example. We already used it in some of the previous videos. We were able to decompile the APK file, understand how it works, understand the main structure, and even recompile it with some modified flags, with some modified strings. APKTool provides you a great output of how the application looks in Smiley code, but Jadx actually provides you the representation of the application in a Java way. Most of the times it's actually more helpful to see how the application works in Java code. But both those tools are really great, so APKTool and Jadx are really useful. APKID is actually a great tool to understand vulnerabilities and detections in the application codes. So instead of going ahead and doing it all manually in Jadx or APKTool, you can first try the APKID. MobSF is also a great static analysis tool. It allows you to understand what kind of the permissions app needs, some secrets hidden in the app. It can also detect some vulnerabilities in the way the data is stored in the app, which is also great. Also guys, this tool is not on that screen, but Ghidra is another tool to analyze the application, but in a sense of native libraries, so C++ libraries. We are going to discuss Ghidra in the following videos, so please make sure to subscribe. There are some other static analysis tools, for example the bytecode viewer, which is also great, Dex2Jar, bfscan, and Quark engine. bfscan, we actually have a video about this tool. This tool allows you to extract some secrets from the application, some HTTP links and stuff like that, so we can actually understand how the app works. If the app is insecure, the bfscan is actually a great tool to understand how insecure it is. Well, talking about dynamic analysis, of course, there are really useful tools as well. For example, Frida. It's probably the most useful runtime analysis tool that you need. Basically, you connect to the running APK file and you analyze the behavior of the application. You can also inject scripts into the running application and also modify this behavior. But it's also available not for Android, but for iOS as well and for Windows, let's say. So you can use it in multiple environments, not just Android devices. Frida is really useful. There are multiple scripts available online that you can use to inject into your application, let's say, and also it comes in multiple ways. For example, the Frida server, it means that there is a Frida server running on your device and actually waits for the connections from your host machine to be able to inject code into the Frida server and then from Frida server to the APK. There are also cases where you cannot install Frida server on your device because, for example, your device is not rooted. In this case, you're gonna use Frida gadget. It means that you are going to analyze your APK file, find some way to inject the Frida server right into the APK file, pack it back, and then just run it on your device, which means this specific APK will be waiting for Frida client connections. And Objection is like Frida on steroids, which means it's basically a nice wrapper around the Frida. It allows you to run your Frida scripts in an easy manner. Also, there's Drozer, which is basically a framework for testing vulnerabilities in the applications. It's like a metasploit for your Android device, which is also a really powerful tool. And of course, you need a really good controlled environment to run all those applications and scripts. In this case, you need to have an Android emulator, and I recommend a rooted Android emulator. I do not recommend running this on your own personal device, or you can have an old phone that you don't really care or need to run those scripts and modified applications in. Network and traffic tools. Most of the applications those days interact with the internet, right? Right. It basically sends requests to the backend. And in this case, you want to intercept traffic that sends from your Android device to this remote backend server. You need specific utilities to do that. My personal favorite is the Burp Suite, Fiddler, and Charles Proxy. Of course, this is really great tools to analyze traffic. Of course, there's also MITM Proxy, interactive HTTPS proxy for inspecting traffic, and it's also like a great tool. I recommend starting with Burp Suite because it's the free tool. Well, there's a free version at least, but there are many options available, so look around. Of course, we need specific utilities to work with our Android devices, for example, just to send and receive commands from it, and in this case we need ADB tools, and also to sign APK files. In this case we need Uber APK Signer. So those are the 4 categories of utilities available, but today let's go ahead and install some of those utilities in our controlled environment. We're gonna be using the Kali virtual machine that I want to prepare specifically for reverse engineering, and well, I recommend using virtual machine for you as well. Why? You don't want to run all those applications on your main machine. Who knows what might go wrong, right? It's always better to use a virtual machine for those kind of activities.